So just got in from working a like 15-hour shift. I was tired, just gonna come home, chill. And then I seen I had this package. And I was like so excited. Look at this. I'm just like destroying the box trying to get in here because we've waited on Hobbywing long enough. So we've got the Mini24 here. Maybe not exactly what I was hoping to get from them. I was really hoping to get this in the 24 size. This basically fits the Capra 18, which I don't even have anymore. But I just wanted to see what we could fit this in. So we'll figure something out for that. But this is the star right now, the Mini24 system. So we're gonna pop this open, take a quick look at it. All right, so here we have it. I gotta say, this thing is actually small. It's smaller than I thought it was looking at the pictures. You'll see here, we're right around the Lizard Ultimate, a little bit smaller than the Lizard Ultimate here. As far as length, basically same width and everything. I do like the plastic case on this. It's lighter than the aluminum. Big Kid ESC, a little longer, close to the same thickness. The Hobbywing's maybe a little thicker, cutting the wires here, but a little shorter overall. Lizard, really almost the same size, but the Lizard's thinner, being that it's just shrink wrapped. But this does have a nice case on it. One thing I will say is I wish it just had a power switch I could just switch and leave on instead of this push button that I have to turn on every time I want to use it. A lot of times I mount these ESCs to where I can't get to them real well and I just leave them powered on. This, we're gonna have to leave access to this button to use it every time. Now the motor, basically the exact same size as the Venom or like Micro Komodo, that sort of thing. So around the same size as those. I like that we have lots of different mounting holes here. So this should fit up to most motor mounts. We're going to attempt to put it in this Ascent18 here. I think the stock pinion from this will slide straight on. We may have to put just a little bit of glue and we'll just have to see how it mounts up. But we're gonna try this in here just because I love the Ascent and I wanna put it in here. I feel like the SCX24 is gonna work well in there. Pretty much any brushless system works fine with those worm gears. You've got the automatic drag brake from the worm gear, decent slow crawl with the worm gear and that sort of thing. So I really just wanted to kind of slap this in here and see how it performs. So I'm gonna get busy with that and then we will check out tuning this and then just see how it runs. So the stock pinion from the stock motor should work just fine. You may have to take a flat screwdriver, kind of get in behind it to pry it off a bit. And then you'll see it will slide on. I would put just a dab of glue on it to keep it from spinning. So maybe just put a dab of glue right here and then slide this thing on. But make sure you test fit this, figure out exactly how far that pinion needs to be sticking out before you do that, because once it's in place, you're gonna be fighting trying to get it to line up and it's not gonna move. So you're gonna use the outermost holes on this, which should be around this spread, hopefully. Look at that, mounts up perfect. So I think we're probably gonna have to bring our pinion up a little. We're not bad, we're just gonna raise it a little bit. So almost flush with the end of the shaft there, should probably work. So that's what I'm saying, just test fit this a bit before you glue. You wanna make sure you don't get too much glue and get it on the teeth itself. So I'm gonna go about right there. Hopefully I didn't get that in the teeth. If you did, you will hear it. It'll still work, but you'll hear it. So we're gonna go ahead and try to get this back together. That glue will be drying as we put all this back together and should be ready to roll by the time we're together. All right, so the motor mounts straight up, no issues. As you can see, this ESC is pretty small. I'm gonna leave the battery tray out of this, mount a receiver back here, my battery over here. One thing to consider when doing this, or really any of these, even the Endura system I took out of here, you're gonna need your own transmitter and receiver. These are pretty solid right here for like 40 bucks. It comes with a larger receiver. And then I get this X6F for like $12 on eBay. These are on Amazon for 30 or 40 bucks. A lot of times you can catch them on sale. I think I got one for like $20 at one point. So pretty solid transmitter. It does come with a different wheel, and then I just changed it out to this one. But that's what I'm going to be using in it. That is something to consider. You will have to change your transmitter if you're taking out the stock system and going to something like this. So I'm going to fire this up just real quick so we can calibrate it, and then we will fasten everything down to where it's in place and not going to just fall out on us. So I'm going to be running the adapter to the JST for now, and I want to just try to run this on 2S and see how it does. One thing we need to do real quick is calibrate our throttle. So with this off, transmitter on, we're going to hold down the power button until you hear it beeping. At this point, give it no throttle. Make sure your throttle trim's at 0. Tap the button, it'll beep. Now we're going to go full throttle. It'll beep twice. Give it full reverse. Now it should be set. And of course it's backwards. So the good thing is we can just flip that switch and reverse that. We're still way faster in reverse than forward. When it starts beeping, set our 0 point. Let's do reverse first and then forward. Okay, it's still faster in freaking reverse. What the heck? All right, so let's connect this and we will try to change our motor direction, okay? So good idea to probably have one of these, because no matter what I do here, if I change the direction of the throttle here, it's still faster in reverse. So honestly, I would probably want to have one of these program cards. That's more money it's going to cost you. So if you don't already have Hobbywing stuff and have one of these, you're probably going to want to pick that up. That's why I really wish they would just start going Wi-Fi with these. Now, let's make sure this matches, because it doesn't. So our motor type, motor rotation should be item 4. So motor rotation, we want to change that. So look, it doesn't matter what this chart says down here, as long as you go by this one. So item 4, we want option 2 to switch it. Our BEC voltage should be on 1. We want to switch that to 2 also. And that's all I'm going to mess with for now. So we're going to hit OK. And let's see if that did us any good. So we definitely reversed it. There we go. So we're faster in forward now than reverse. Is there a reverse speed, max reverse force? So I'm going to change that also. I don't like that 50% reverse power. So I'm going to go 100. I like to be able to use reverse when I want it. So you got to turn that off and back on to recognize it here. Okay. Again, max reverse force is 8. So 8, we're at 2 right now. We want to go 4. Boom. All right, let's try to run with that. We may have to play with drag brake, but for now, we're going to go with that. We have, yeah, forward and reverse. This does have forward reverse with brake if you're putting this in something you want to use a brake, or you just have forward with brake, no reverse. So let's try that now. So now we're as fast in reverse as we are forward. So I guess we technically could have just changed that earlier, but changing the motor direction, we are now finally ready to use this. It seems pretty smooth. Let's see. The little transition point right there from super slow, like you can move it as slow as you want to move it basically. But as you ramp it up, right when you get right here, you're going to notice it kind of lunge a little from here to the next step. Right there, see it just, so not any smoother than anything else I've ran, but smooth enough, right? Let's get this all buttoned up here and then we'll go run it. Just so you guys can see the wheel speed, I don't really have another stock Ascent18. It's about what all of the brushless systems are in the Ascent18 in my opinion. This is on 3S. It's gonna have good enough walking speed. If you're trailing, like I'm walking and I'm losing ground on this thing, so you're not gonna have to worry about it keeping up with you. You're gonna have to increase your pace a bit. It also came with this compass, and I know there's some freaking rocks around here somewhere. Oh, there it is, the sweet spot. We found it, thanks to Hobbywing. So we're super smooth here at the low speed. We still get that little jump at the transition point that we've kind of always had from most of these brushless systems. I kind of thought Hobbywing would just be leaps and bounds above everybody else when it comes to that, but it's really not. It's about what we've kind of been dealing with all of these brushless combos. I do think the durability of this system is going to be excellent. I've never had any issues with Hobbywing stuff. I run their stuff in all of my bashers usually. When I raced, I ran a lot of their stuff. I remember Hobbywing back, I used to show up at the track with Hobbywing and people were running like Novak and shoot, what was some of the other ones? I can't even remember, but stuff that was like higher end back then, Tekin and all of those. And I would show up with Hobbywing, which was the major budget stuff then. You know, it was like the cheap stuff. And a lot of people didn't even really want it because it was just, oh, that's the cheap stuff. And I would just smoke people, and it was so good. And now they've kind of become the standard. Like they've ran a lot of these plays. I mean, Novak disappeared a long time ago, and Tekin, do they really do much of anything anymore? Hobbywing's just really where it's at. So really glad to see them starting to jump into the micros. This is their first release, so you know, hopefully we got more to come. Super smooth. Oh, crazy wheel speed on this thing on 2S and the 3S for sure, but the 2S even is crazy fast. And the Ascent18 it's geared a little bit high, you know, stock. So you could always do some underdrive, but this truck's completely stock gearing. I don't even think it has any overdrive or underdrive at all. And it's pretty freaking smooth, look at that. So let's see how these tires do on this completely stock truck. These are the ones I scrubbed in. I have a video on that. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out, because these would not slow crawl this rock at all. I had to punch it to get up this. Look at that. We can just stop now. Let's check our drag brake, because this is 100% stock setting. That's the drag brake. So got a little rollback. We can turn that up with the program card. That's why I'm saying I would highly recommend getting that program card if you don't have one. You can probably tune with the ESC itself. I didn't look at the directions, but I would assume you could, listening to beeps and all that, but that stuff kind of confuses me sometimes. I'm not good at listening. At least that's what my wife says.
But that right there, I don't mind that, honestly. When you're crawling, if you're trying to reposition and you get in a spot and you need to move over, instead of having to hit reverse, sometimes you can just let it roll a little. Just like that, you know, if you need to change your line. So you get up here, instead of having a full hold and then you got to hit reverse, you just let that thing roll a little and then rework yourself. So I'm not going to change that. I'm probably going to leave it as is. It holds enough, I'm not really just going to completely lose my spot. So I actually really like the feel of that. So that transition is there, but I gotta say it actually feels better on the rocks than I thought it would, you know, with that initial little jump in the transition from that low to mid throttle. It actually feels pretty good on the rocks, especially for this being a stock truck. So something like the SCX24, it's obviously gonna crawl amazing because those things, like I said before, with the worm gears, it's really not that hard to get a good crawl out of those. Oh, we're losing the body. I don't know if this truck, it's, like I said, it's completely stock. I don't know if we'll get over this or not. We're gonna lose the body if we do. Oh, wow. It's got good punch, and we can adjust the punch. Oh, wow, okay. I don't think I've ever done that, but it worked. Look at the squish in those tires. These are running the Injora silicone inserts. Super cheap, look at that. We're not losing sidewall. Front and rear on these. I did cut them. I think they were the 64mm ones, and I cut the outer ring off of them just to make them a little smaller. I had bought these when that was like the only set they offered. They have a few different sizes now. Overall, I'm very impressed with the smoothness of this system. So you guys let me know what you think about the Hobbywing, their initial brushless system for these micros. I'm just thrilled they're finally here, you know. They're finally joining us in the micro world. So I would say they will have more future releases. I have no idea. Hobbywing won't talk to me at all. I tried to contact them several times when I heard they had these things coming, and I never even got a reply. So who knows how their customer support is. I've never really needed it. But I did probably email 5 different email addresses asking questions about this, probably between around a month ago back to 6-8 months ago, because I heard this was coming, or just something was coming from them, and I never even got a reply once that said, hey, screw you, leave us alone, or anything. So I don't know, but I've never had to contact them because I've never really had an issue. So if you've had experience with them, let me know how it was. I figure it's probably decent, but I haven't talked to anybody, so I couldn't tell you. So I'll get some more time in with this for sure. I just kind of wanted to toss it in the Ascent, see how it ran, let you guys know if it was an easy fit, because I know there's probably people considering this system for the Ascent. And now you know it bolts straight up. Stock pinion will work. Put a little glue on it, you'll be set. Crazy smooth. I really like it. If you've got a transmitter that lets you adjust kind of like your throttle curve and stuff, you could really, really dial it in. So I I'm impressed with this. For the price, it's Hobbywing. I don't think you're going to go wrong with this at all. So you guys let me know what you think about it. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell. Peace.